So there has been excitement in New York City and even all across America since the Diddy verdict. People got a lot to say. There's excitement on both sides. For the side that support Diddy or happy because of the verdict, the not guilty verdict, they're celebrating and they're excited. On the side who wanted to bury that man and that man to rot in jail, they're pretty upset. They so heated. They're saying that the case that he bought the jury, he bought the feds. They are upset. If you want to hear my take on this, man, continue watching. I guess we can name the Diddy trial as the case of the century. Man, it was a lot of back and forth. Every day was different news reports. This happened, that happened, baby oil, a whole lot of stuff was going on. And then finally, the verdict came out. P. Diddy was found not guilty on 3 of the 5 charges. He was only found guilty of the 2, what they call the Mann Act. That's like transporting prostitutes from, one state to the next. Do you know that when Sean P. Diddy Combs got back to the jail, that the inmates gave P. Diddy a standing ovation? But his people are upset. They're mad. Bury Diddy. He's the worst. And this is my thing. I'm going to take y'all through the case. Like, the case to me started through social media. It was all these different articles. The case started even before the Cassie video and before that. You had people, making videos. The Bodyguard made videos. Certain rappers hating on Diddy, making videos, man. Accusing them with outlandish stuff. Some stuff even when they went throughout the whole trial that never came out. So it was like this case started in the eyes of social media. And then because of that, the feds got involved. Homeland Security got involved. They raided several of his homes. Was L.A., New York, and Miami. Right? Made a big spectacle. Took out computers and laptops and all this. Said they had video of this, video evidence of this, and evidence of that. People who work closely with the case mentioned that these were trumped up charges in the first place. Now the video of Diddy beating Cassie, that was straight up domestic violence, that was abuse, and it was sickening. Though I want to remind y'all, those who don't know, they just see the video, they thought it happened yesterday. That happened in 2016. While Diddy was an addict using different substance, while Cassie was an addict using different substance, they had an extreme relationship where they included others in their relationship. But the feds put out a RICO case as if Diddy was like a John Gotti or leader of a criminal organization. And the thing about it, there was no team, no other people. It was just Diddy. And they try to say that Diddy was the John Gotti of an organization. And people that followed Diddy closely, not talking about the haters, but the people that followed Diddy closely, man, understood that his businesses were legit. Now, whether that was proved, they had to go to court to prove that. But he had a legitimate clothing line, a legitimate record label, a legitimate media or TV company. He had several different things going on. It didn't like he had, these were fronts for his criminal organization. That was not the truth. And as we went through trial, even the jury saw through that and they found him not guilty. Because the goal, most people can see that the government wanted to take Diddy's assets. They wanted to take his life, first of all, by putting him in prison for the rest of his life. And number 2, they wanted to take Diddy's assets. But by being found not guilty on the racketeering charges, they can't even do that. They refused to let him out because they felt like if Diddy was in prison, he would not be able to defend himself, with his lawyers, meeting with his lawyers. But he hooked up a great legal team that were able to work even within the confines and fight this case. As we know, the prosecution, man, they called 36 witnesses to basically what they were doing is they weren't saying that nothing about RICO, but they just used a lot of circumstantial stuff to say that, or to tear down Diddy's credibility in front of the judge, in front of the jury. So that was the goal of the prosecution. We'll bring 36 people to destroy this man's credibility and to say that he's this monster that they was trying to paint. Let me clarify. Yeah, he was abusive. He abused himself with the substance. He abused Cassie. They fought each other. He stumped her out in the thing, which happened many years ago. I don't give no excuses for that at all. But I'm not going to allow that to blind me of the justice that Diddy still deserved. He did deserve the right to a bail. That's something that he deserved. But it seemed like the judge went with everything the prosecution say. Some people say that the judge was pretty fair. I'm not sure because everything that I saw from a distance, I wasn't up there. It seemed like they allowed testimony, right, that was proven to be false or intentionally lying. They approved certain testimony to be entered. They allowed the beating case, the beating video, which had nothing to do with RICO, but they tried, like I said, they tried to manipulate the jury. That was their goal, to manipulate the jury and ultimately convict Sean Combs, take all his money, all his assets. That was the goal. But guess what? God had other plans, right? Who am I to judge? I cannot judge Diddy. I wish Diddy the best for the rest of his life. I wish Cassie and any other victims or participants, grown folks, I wish them the best in their life as well. But one thing I noticed when it's a black man, probably a black person, but you see these with black men, it seems like we be the ones that say, crucify, crucify, crucify our own people, man. We're the first ones, and we're quick to say, crucify. What he did was unbelievable. Man, stuff happened worse than that in life. But most of the ones that are saying crucify, not most of them, some of the ones that are saying crucify, crucify, hated him anyway and was not willing to celebrate a black man being successful, right? That man has been humiliated. He's in jail. Even as he speak, even with the acquittal, and he tried to get a bail, they refused him the bail. What would it take, man? And really, it's not up to him. This is between him and God and him and those, different victims. But I don't see anything that came out in testimony or otherwise that make him to be the monster that some of y'all had tried to portray him to be. Nothing that came out in testimony. Well, he did this to his artists. Okay, he helped some artists too. He did a lot of good things as well. But to create him and try to say that he's done and he should never get a chance. They should lock him up forever. Man, y'all go sit down somewhere, man. I'm totally against that, man. My hopes is that he get the help that he need and continue to be productive, continue to prosper, him and his children. As I wish, as I said earlier, for those victims, participants really, because they was participating in a lot of this stuff, I hope they continue to get their lives together as well. Diddy fought the feds. He won. He had to go against a lot of these internet haters, and he won. He beat the haters because the haters, man, was trying to kick that man while he was down. That was the disgrace, man. Because people allowed that personal hate, jealousy, and envy to try to destroy a man. Even the bodyguard, man, did everything he can to destroy this man. And you made your living, you still continue to make your living off of Biggie, off of Diddy's. You made probably millions off of them, man. So that's my thing, man. Diddy beat the feds, bing, 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 bing. And then he beat his haters because they thought he was down and they wanted to bury that man. But Diddy came out on top. Now we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the sentencing, man. Because as we know, even with the Mann Act, there's 2 counts. And he faces up to 10 years on each count. 10 years is the max. The federal system has a, sentencing guidelines. Diddy being the first offender in these cases, they saying that he can get, the first offense calls for 21 months to 27 months, something around that. It's 2 cases, so if he get 21 months 2 times, they can either run it consecutively or they can run it concurrent. If they run it concurrent, he'll be doing both times at one time, at the same time. So we're going to have to see, man. But listen, man, the courts have spoken. Get out your feelings. Move on. If you deal with him, you deal with him. If you don't, you don't. That's like anybody else in life, right? But get the hate and jealousy out your heart, man, some of y'all. If we really want to continue to stand up for domestic violence and abuse, continue with your organizations and continue to do your work that you do, man. But don't try to bring a man down. God dealing with that man, and God going to continue to deal with that man, just like God going to continue to deal with you and me, man. I want to thank y'all, man, for watching the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not done it, go and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Until next time, man.